Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Episode 120.
Drop that beat, get a vibe, stay live. Sell a club 120, welcome to the ride. Na, 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 yeah. And drop that beat, yeah, the vibe, stay live. Sell a club 120, welcome to the ride. Plans might change, but the hustle stay true. Sprint mode, grind, got a store to run through.
Hi, Anna.
What's up? You didn't drop the beat.
Oh, I made a DJ drop the beat. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What I found out with, if you guys are paying attention, with all the songs that I'm mixing up with my AI friend, because it's like a ongoing theme of drop the beat. So every time I make it write a song, it says drop that beat.
It says it anyway.
Yeah, it says it anyway. So I'm like, like it's kind of weird how
That's
we
funny.
drop and drop.
Is
so
that the most consistent thing we say on this podcast?
That, right, obviously, right? Obviously,
Probably.
because I've fed it all our transcript, and it's been getting every transcript ever since.
Wow.
Past 100. Everything after 100 is getting transcript. And it's, we're really getting super fast and super dialed in now.
Wow.
It knows the vibe already, the funky horns per
Yeah.
Anna.
I love the horns. We love a horn section.
Yeah. So it's really groovy. So yeah, switch that up a little bit, but we're
At some point, can you ask it based on our? Can it identify each of us individually in the transcripts? Do you think?
Yeah, basically, yeah, because the transcript has names. Yeah.
Okay, so can we ask it to give us each a consistency score on how good we are at following through with what we say we're gonna do on the podcast?
Yeah, we should be able
You
to
should
run
see
one
what it
after
says.
20 episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. We should be able to ask it that what's all the broken promises this podcast
Right.
has
Do a
said.
broken promise roundup, and then we can have an episode where we rationalize why we didn't follow through with things. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that is actually really helpful.
It is helpful.
I've always thought of transcript as a waste of time and stuff like that, but more than ever, I've been down. Like, it's funny because it's a .txt file, and I was just looking at cleaning up my downloads and everything like that. I was like, golly, I download so many transcripts because even if there's like a YouTube video or something like that, I just download the transcript and I just feed it as like summarize, what's the gist of what they're talking about. So
Yeah, that is really helpful.
yeah, but don't do that for Solid Cook Podcast. You gotta listen to all
Just
of them.
listen.
Yeah.
Well, the experience is to hang out with us, right? So
Yeah.
You can't get good hangs through a transcript summary.
Right. So
Mark my words.
we are. So are there 4 weeks or 5 weeks for this month?
So, in terms of our episode release schedule, there are 5.
Oh wow, there's 5. There's 5 Mondays.
Mondays, yes. 5
And
Mondays,
Sunday,
Sundays, and
Tuesday,
Tuesdays. Yes.
So that's it's gonna feel like a really long month.
Yeah. Which is so funny to me. Like, why? I just don't understand why March and February. Like, March
just next to
feels
each
really
other.
long and February feels really short. Like, what's the point of that? I don't really know.
Yeah, they should have just made it even. Like, give the other 2 days to February.
Yeah.
But so there's that. I guess we're halfway. We're halfway into the month, and what started as a really focused, simplified, we're gonna get stuff done. That went out of the window. So I'm just
Yeah, I was like, this is why we're talking about broken promises. But
Yeah.
you know what I like about it? I mean, this is one of the best things, in my opinion, about being like a small business owner. Not that you just can, I mean, to a degree, you can do whatever you want when you want, which is great. But like, it's always a reiteration, right? It's always adjusting the plans. And sometimes if you're being like really black and white about it, okay, yeah, maybe that sounds like a broken promise, but there's probably a story behind that broken promise that involved like some kind of reevaluating, some kind of opportunity coming along. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just that we're terrible at following through with things. It's that we're allowed to move the target. So we do. whenever it suits us or like benefits us.
No,
When it's like a goal in our own business or whatever.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think the best ones are the ones that knows how to punt which task.
Right.
I think that's a I guess a learned groove or rhythm that you figure out along the way.
Yeah.
Perfect example. We ran out of poly bags today, and
ouch.
yeah, it's like, and I was like, are there any like free eBay shipping supplies that I have tucked somewhere?
Oh my gosh, yes.
So yeah, because one of our shipments for polybags didn't come in or is still pending or something like that. So that's one of the things that again, like, that's a perfect example. Like, now, after that incident today, it's like, now we should have like a reserve stash. Like, put like 50 somewhere, so
right, so that when you run out of your main stash, that's when you
order, you have like, that will be like the order point. See, look at that, we're already talking
it's
about
your fail safe.
yeah the fail safe stash, kind of like my snack stash. I have snack stash.
Okay, but do the fail safe ones ever expire, or do you just move them to the front of the line when you restock?
So it's a fail-safe stash and also a sourcing stash. Like, if I'm going out on if I know I have a long day, that's the easy grab. That's the easy grab. And what I've been finding lately is I've been pretty good at I think I credit this to my sister as well. Me and her go grocery shopping more often now, because JC's not a cook, so me and her cook. So we kind of like, build a dish or the meal plan according to what we see in the grocery. And this is something like, I guess we just picked up from our parents, that we cook with what we see. It's not like I've always wanted to just like, hey, add to cart, have it delivered. Like, I can't do that with cooking. Like, I do that with everything else.
Be there and touch everything and pick
golly,
it up.
My paper plate, my chopstick, my water, they're an auto reorder. I don't have to think about it, right? Like, those are like a lot of things. But like, but what we found out is like, like how grocery have like specials and like like different. And I've discovered this kind of like the snack groove. It was crazy. Like, there was like buy 2 get 3 for like Lace and Ruffles.
Wow.
Or like for chips. I'm like, golly, like,
you're like, let's party.
Yeah, so it's like $3.99 a bag. So I got 2 and then got 3 free. So that's kind of like my snack stash that I kind of refill, but at the same time, like, saving money.
That's smart. So. Yeah. Well, refill with what's on sale. I love it.
Yeah.
I save so much time doing grocery pickups now, and probably money, because for me, when I'm shopping with like my eyes like that in the grocery store, I'm like getting extra stuff I don't need, or like, oh, this would be interesting. Oh, I'm gonna try this condiment, blah blah. And it's probably like wasting more time and money ultimately for me. But there is something that I really enjoy about going through a whole grocery store. Like, sometimes, so mostly I do order stuff for pickup now. I have like a meal plan system that I use in my household, like that I made. And so it's pretty streamlined, really just to save time and effort, because like, I am a busy person. But I really like to walk through the grocery store sometimes when I can. Or also depends on the grocery store.
Right.
But
you know what?
I do enjoy it.
Recent scores we got 14 pieces of mangoes in a box that were selling by the case for $5. For $5.
That's awesome. They overstocked.
Yeah, I guess they overstocked, or they knew that it was gonna get.
Oh yeah, and you'll never be able to order that on pickup. Like,
no,
you'll never know about
like
it.
a lot of those stuff. So lately, yesterday we got some honey mangoes for 79 cents each.
Nice.
And I was like, I'm eating 2 tonight. Like, so like those kind of stuff. But just pro tip from 2 resellers about your grocery shopping. You're welcome.
That's right. You're welcome. It's the reseller life, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, we are still, like you said, we're right in the middle of this our March Madness, and we're like, instead of like basketball and sports, we're leaning into like the psychological like
Right.
side of madness, just because we have set some big goals and big tasks for ourselves to finish by the end of the month. So we're halfway through. And we definitely can kind of check in about where we're at and like how it's going. I've made a lot of progress on mine, but it started out as just a, hey, let's do a big inventory check this month. Let's touch every item, make sure the quantities are correct, make sure everything is listed that should be and that everything's not listed that shouldn't be, and all of that kind of stuff. But that was the original plan, was to basically tighten up the inventory management thing. But then some other opportunities and some other things entered the picture, which really just adds to the madness. Like, I know that for both of us, we haven't taken the inventory check totally off the table, but like some other things have jumped in line ahead of it, right?
Right.
So at this point, my first question for you is, at this midpoint in the month, do you think you're still going to get to that? Do you think you're going to get it started, get it finished, just entirely kick it to the next month? Like, where are you at with that piece of it?
I would say would kick it to the next month. One of the things that we're trying to, there's death piles and there's reserve piles, and there's piles that, I don't know, like for some odd reason you get in a group. For example, for us right now, we get in a groove of like footwear, right? And all of a sudden, like, we find a deal on a luggage or a bag or a thing, and it throws us off.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like an alternate universe.
Right. And then just like, yeah, I don't want to list clothing right now. And especially like when you find items that are like $100 items, $200 items. Man, like, I get so excited listing those. JC we put up so much listing. But like now you get to like the $20, $30 item. I'm just like, oh man. And also too, like, they're cheaper to buy. So you have way more of them.
Yeah.
And just little like variation, like this one's like black, medium, slim fit. This one's black, medium, regular. So it's just like they're
like mind-numbing details.
Yeah, it's just mind-numbing details, and it's just like, do I want to deal with it? So that's where we're at. But obviously, I know for a fact that summer's here. We're definitely selling a lot more warm outers. Warm clothing stuff like tank tops and shorts and socks and stuff like that. So those are like lower ASP items. So I know that we have to crank out more volume because they're a third
more is going to be selling through.
Yeah. So hence why we ran out of poly bags, because over the last 2 days was like 40 orders of poly bags. Like there's no so that's the challenge there. So I would say the madness really kind of like threw us out of the laser focus one-dimensional task.
Right, it's not a one-track mind anymore.
No. Like, and especially with me, I know myself. When I divert to one, it just snowballs to like everything else. Like
right.
So now I'm trying to like, let me see if I can rearrange the garage. And I'm just like, no, like, don't think about the garage yet, because you still have the basement to finish and stuff like that. So that's kind of like where we're at. It's a lasagna madness. Like,
it is a lasagna of madness, which was our last episode title. If you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen. Because this is a series of sorts, but we're in real time. We're just like, kind of approaching our stores a different way this month. So let me ask you this, Ken, because obviously it was your idea to do the inventory check in the first place. So obviously it's an important task, right? Or you wouldn't have even decided to do it in the first place.
Right.
Now, right, but at this moment, there's been some other more important things that have showed up in your path, which is fine. You are in charge, so you get to take whatever path you want. But my question, just to like uncover the thought process behind those kind of decisions, is like, okay, so right now your game plan sounds like it's to basically kick that to next month. Right. The inventory check part of it. Yeah. There's still some madness to deal with in March, and it's for the best. But when does it become really mandatory to not kick it down the road? Or how do you decide it's okay to delay this versus not? I'm just curious, like, what's your thought process about it?
I think there has to be, like, kind of just like the inventory. Like, inventory is very important. Like, we recognize that. But there's no Christmas time coming up soon, right? Like,
okay.
Like, when we, it's very seasonal, right? When we said that we were going to inventory in September, that was, like, mandatory. It had to get done in September. Like, like, crawl down the basement, do what, just lock yourself in the basement, do whatever, like that is a must, right? Like there are times that it's like, hey, play Bruno Mars, like, hey, play, like, we're just playing different tunes to help the mood, right?
Yes.
Like, bring, like, those were the times that I would just bring donuts downstairs. Like, hey, the donuts are downstairs if you want.
We are getting this done.
Yeah,
so that's where the donuts are.
Yeah, that is like, so that is a very real thing that, because of the season that's upcoming, you gotta get it done.
Yeah.
Whether
you feel like it or not, you're not looking to the left or to the right.
No.
There's a deadline, basically.
Yeah. So for us, it's like April, like, like, we're still trying to finish Q1, and that's kind of like my mentality right now. Like we want to put up a really good Q1. Historically, Q1's our best quarter. So we're still in that kind of, like, surfing the big wave mode. It's like, hey, can we move this products? Like, I catch myself a lot of times just, like, sending more offers during this time, trying to try to adjust pricing, sell similar,
basically keep the velocity
up, I'm
right?
trying, like, it's like there's still, like, the sales mindset at this moment, and that's why, like, kicking it to next month. But I know the reality of second quarter, it's usually the slower quarter,
right?
Because there's, like, that's when people get off school, summer, it's nice outside, the summer slowdown, whatever that is,
what?
Hold
on.
Or for me,
Hold
it's just
on.
What?
You admitting that there's a summer slowdown?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. I don't know what I said last year, but this year there is.
You and Glenn emphatically insisted that it did not exist, and if it did exist, it was your fault.
Yes, it did.
That was my takeaway.
Right. April, May, June, right? April, May, June is the
yes.
The
perhaps
second
it's
quarter.
Strategic in a way, but it does make sense because of how you approach your Q1.
Yeah.
And so you're writing all this momentum, and I mean, basically what's happened for this month of March is that you've kicked your slower times activity to the next month. And meanwhile, what has replaced it? Aggressively sourcing and getting your listings up because of the higher volume of sales.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So I think, like, you got to step back and see, like, wait, what's the wave that I'm trying to ride right now? And if there's still that, I'm seeing my traffic is still big, the traffic are still coming. Yes, it's slowed down a little bit, but it's not because people are not buying. It's just the type of items that are being sold, right? Like, we're still selling the same quantity, but not as many shoes. There's more shorts this time. So there's still action and activity in the store. So it's like that, like, that's why on Q2, our main priority is like, okay, let's kick back up to inventory check, because I want to make sure all our clothing, our summer clothing, is primed to sell during this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like the seasonality of it too.
Right. And that definitely plays in. Also, though, I would think a factor just in this specific situation where the thing you were going to focus on was the inventory check, and the thing that ends up taking its place is, like, sourcing and listing. Well, the listing doesn't happen without the sourcing.
Right.
And the sourcing doesn't happen without good product available, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that factors in also. Like, if this was the month of March and you just looked around everywhere and didn't really see much worth getting,
so
you probably would still be doing your inventory check, right?
I wouldn't be going out for sure.
You have to, like, adapt. And I think it's a good example. I'm picking this apart a little bit because it's a mindset thing. And that's exactly what I've seen you do, but I want to make you explain it out loud so that everyone else can understand.
There's definitely, like, times where, I have, like, 4 or 5 stores that I go to that's, within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And when I could see that there are inventory in these 5 stores, which are usually the weaker store in my city, in my radius, that's when I know it's like, oh, I gotta drive 40 minutes out to check that store.
Right.
And if that store has it, the other one has it. Like, and again, it's just supply. And then I'm, like, to give you a perspective, I'm going to discount retailers, like going back to the Ross and Burlington's, Nike outlet and stuff
back
like
to
that.
The Roots.
Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and all those, discounts, right? And what I just realized too is like, I found some outerwear that are getting clearance. Like, oh, it makes sense, right? Like, because
they're very seasonal.
Yeah, they're very seasonal too. So I was like, but also then that's when the decision happens, right? I think this is why, like, in certain times, like, I just don't want to make decisions at home or anything like that, because in these purchases, these are very strategic purchases that I'm even thinking I'm not selling it in the next 8 months.
Right.
Like, when I'm purchasing outerwear right now, like, that goes in a box and I'm going to list that during summertime, right? That's for later. So again, it's like it's the out of season sourcing and sorting for later down the road. So that's kind of what's going on.
And it's so smart because you have to be mindful of like the business model and strategy of your sources, right? Like you're saying, this is the time to go pick up all the clearance winter outerwear, and so you're not going to waste the opportunity. But I do think it's interesting. There's so many like smaller decisions involved, right? And like for example, there's other times of the year that historically you are driving like all over the country and you're sourcing like thousands of items, in the span of a few weeks. And this is not that. This has you staying more local, but it's
more
just
home.
It is all of it strategic, and it's a different strategy depending on the time of year and a lot of factors, right? Yeah, it's kind of, and again, I think one of the things that play into it, talking about mindset, is like, because my mind tries to play tricks on me, and when I'm not driving as far, when I'm not getting van fulls and stuff like that, like my brain's like, when I see my minivan, I'm looking at it like, why did I buy this car? Like, why did I buy this? But on the sourcing time, I'm like, why did I buy this? The best car ever, right? Or I need 2 of these, right? Like I'm thinking, so, and I think that's very normal, right? Because you tend to forget so quickly what that season is. Oh my gosh, yes. And well, for me, it's just like the hard part about it is like it plays into your I guess either your success measurement or your success cup, right? Like, I feel like I'm running low. Like am I really like, because I'm not action mode right away. I'm not doing so this is where I really buckle down on just trying to get the small wins. So hence I work out more during this time, because obviously I have more physical time that I'm in the city. I'm in my home. Yeah, you're not like out and about. Yeah, and then like we're dialed in our nutrition, our diet, so we're cooking a lot more at home. So I'm trying to like draw from that instead of like the action that we get in like buying. So and I think that's kind of like, winter blues is not a thing for me, because winter's during the best time for our business. Yeah, usually, it's like, right? Exciting on the business side. Right. There's not like, but for me, it's like the slow down blues for me. Like, okay, now you don't have to drive so far. Now you're not spending as much. Now you're just chilling. Right. It's not big moves. It's like medium-sized moves. Yeah, it's like like the mini moves, right? So I was like, so that's. I think it's tough. It's tough during this time. What you're talking about with your van and how malleable your perception of it is, depending on the situation. I have an example of that from my own setup. So I was just thinking about this the other day because I've been working really hard on getting my shop set up for a shipping station and a photography station. I did like 5 or 6 hours of work out there yesterday and whipped it like 90% into shape. And it was really gratifying, but I thought, oh my gosh, I am so mad that I got rid of both of my packing peanut hoppers because
Oh yeah, it'd be perfect there.
yes, it would be great out there. Like I literally might have to find another one on Marketplace or something. I don't want to pay a lot for one, but I loved having those. And less than 2 years ago, when I moved into my current house and had like short basement ceilings here,
Yeah,
I was
don't
like,
fit.
I mean, I don't even hardly sell hard goods anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really need these. And I got rid of them for like so cheap, or I might have even donated one of them. I can't even remember. I think I gave one away. But now I'm like, how short-sighted was that? Like,
Right.
it was not even 2 years ago. And before that, I used it for years and I loved it. So I may have to find another peanut hopper because I do think I'm going to end up doing a lot of shipping out there. And I have a nearly endless supply of free packing peanuts now, which is also something I never thought I would have.
Right.
So I'm
Well-
like, oh my gosh, I should have not gotten rid of that. What was I thinking? And it was just in my way all the time. And I was just being
they're just
short-sighted.
bulky, right? They're bulky.
They are, yeah. Even when they're
kinda,
like deconstructed, they just
yeah,
take up a lot
that's
of
kind of
space.
how I was with, because I used to use the giant bubble wraps.
Yeah.
And and then we switched to a craft paper now, which does the same thing because I've
Yeah.
and that's why I realized like, oh, this is why Nike and Amazon use craft paper instead of bubble wraps, because just the storage of something is
For
so
sure.
huge.
I'm just going to say this here too. One of the things I did yesterday in my shop, you can go see what I was doing on my Instagram. Like I made a reel about it, but I had like months of free shipping supplies that I hadn't sorted.
Okay.
And which is great. I love having a back
Yeah.
stock. I mean, I always want to bulk up all of the filler. There's like boxes, there's packing peanuts, there's air pillows, there's bubble wrap, there's just a bunch of different lots and lots of packing paper, different kinds. So anyway, it's great. I always want to have a ton on hand, especially for Q4, but I have way more than I will ever use, and I pick up a little bit more every week. So if anybody is like local to me or passing through the St. Louis area and you need shipping supplies, come get some from me for real. Reach out to me on Instagram. I will give you whatever you need because I don't need to hoard it. I have plenty, and I'm gonna keep
it's a
getting
continuous
more.
supply, right? You're getting a continuous supply. No,
and
that
it's
makes
such a
sense.
win-win, and I really want to find a way to pass that on to other sellers,
And
so
also
that's
maybe
one less expense that you have.
or maybe like streamline what you need the most and just steer it, right? Like kind of like, okay, these are the boxes that I use the most. These are this, and this is not the size that I use, and somebody could use it.
Totally. I'm part of the like Central Illinois Resellers Seller Circle. I attend that one a lot. And I'm gonna bring a carload of stuff with me next time and just be like, you guys take this. Whoever needs it, take it. But that's the only thing I could think of, except for just putting out the word.
Yeah, because especially the regular boxes now. Now that you're a Poshmark seller,
I know.
You get the USPS Ground Advantage supplies.
I do.
I
do, but a lot of the boxes I get from this source where I get all of my free stuff are bigger boxes. So if you're selling bulk or you're selling larger items, sometimes it's just really nice to have. And I cut them down and use them to be smaller too.
Yeah, the big boxes are the expensive boxes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they're good quality. Some of them have handle cutouts. They're great. So anyway, if anybody is listening and that actually pertains to you, please contact me. Like through Instagram would be the easiest way. Anna finds everything. But okay, Ken, so I have a couple more questions for you about mindset. Since the laser focus has shifted more to like sourcing and listing, the first thing I want to ask you about is in terms of sourcing. So you look around, you see what's available, you kind of decide what's the scope of my sourcing right now, and you go for it. So how do you keep like a high pace of sourcing or do like a big sprint of sourcing without making bad inventory decisions?
Yeah, this is the time where... So one of the things that it makes it easier, it's not as cheap to go sourcing this time than what I usually do during Q4 time, right? Obviously, there's way more Black Friday discount. There's way more of that during Q4. And also, too, just historically... people, companies are trying to sell as much as they can before the year ends. So in that season, I tend to spend cheaper per item, but
Okay.
and I get a lot in bulk. But during this time, I don't get as much volume. I pay a little bit more. So my strategy for this one is, even when looking up comps, I nail it down to sizing. Yeah, if you guys know what we sell sneakers, streetwear, athletic apparel, right? So I'm at a point where if I'm competing with, let's say, a first page will be 25 items, right? Like if you're looking at your comps, um, if I'm competing with like two pages, and it's a it's a not a popular size, like men's small, women's extra small, or women's 3X or something like that, a non-pop, and then there's a lot of them. This is the time that it's so easy for me to pass items. I'm basically getting the cream of the crop in sizing. Like for me, like men's large automatic.
Because you're paying a little more for each
Yeah,
item, or
because
okay.
I'm paying more. I'm okay with paying more because it's a prime
Right.
size.
Right.
So prime size matters at this point. Sometimes because of the season, I may not make as high of an ROI, but I know it's gonna go soon.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the things that I'm picking up the most are like shorts, like casual shorts, workout gear, workout clothes, running shorts. Those ones I'm picking up now because people are just really trying to get into running, and it's the trend. So trends play a part, and seasons play a part, and then size play a part, and then I'm willing to pay more.
Yeah.
So
it's a good rule of thumb. Like
right.
if there still might be really great stuff available, but maybe
Yeah.
if it is a little more than your cheapest,
Yeah.
on average, then you have to be more picky about
Right.
some
Yeah.
of those other factors.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's great. From another side of it, kind of from the listing side, how can you, like, you really have your listing set up so dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering if there's anything you can share just about kind of the same thing, but for listing. If you are like, okay, I got to have a really high volume of listing this month,
Yeah.
how do you do that without sacrificing quality of your listings, or like getting disorganized, or
Right.
like, I don't know, any problems that
What-
would come with just cranking
what
up the
we've done,
acceleration?
what we've done lately is we batch list same items. So one of the things, there was one day that I took like 370 photos in an hour and 10 minutes,
Yeah, I
something
saw
like that.
that on
But
IG.
that was all footwear.
Right.
And what I've
You're in footwear mode.
right,
when
that
you're
was the
taking
footwear
those.
mode. So
Yeah,
so
I do the
what
same thing.
what we do on the only reason why I got to take photo that fast is the prep for that photo, the prep for that listing. So we made sure there were like 50 drafts ready to go. All the 50 pairs were literally lined up, on the table or on the floor, where it goes through, like, from my left, unlisted, and then I put it to the right. That means it's listed, and I have a box where everything goes there. That means that box is listed. So we've kind of like developed a kind of like a sprint mode mentality on listing, because that's where we find like the fulfillment side of it. Like, oh man, like, you take, like, after that, man, that was like sprinting. That was like a lot, like, your hands go numb, like your back hurts, because like it's just you're no talking.
Yeah,
just
really focus.
Rip it, right? Like usually
Bruno Mars is blasting.
we crank the music high, like that just leaves us nowhere. Like my phone's usually on airplane mode during that time. Nobody bothered me for an hour.
Yeah.
And that's when speed happens. So what we've done too, like for example, like shorts, we would literally lay all the shorts on top of each other and put it on a box and put it where it's supposed to go, right? Like, so for example, like there's an empty bin. We'll fill that bin gets drafted, and then it goes to the photo station, and then right after that it goes back to the bin and it gets pre-packed.
Mm-hmm.
So that one, like, we can do a bin of clothing per sprint, and at that point it's just a matter of like, hey, like, if we don't have in us to run through a bin, we'll just put it off for the next sprint.
Yeah.
Next sprint could be that night, the next day, or early morning. JC usually does a lot of early morning sprint for that. So that's, I think, find something that's doable within an hour, a task, and then let it go, and then find other motivation again, or find other time of slot. And like this is very important. You gotta time yourself how fast you are, because a lot of people overcommit and overestimate their skill and time, because they've just haven't measured it in a long time.
Right. And you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Right. And then you're just like, okay, like I have a dentist appointment later at 2, and then you're at 12:30, I want to go through this bin.
Yeah.
And there's no drafts, there's no organization, and then all of a sudden you're like, like, I'm terrible.
I gotta go. Now
I gotta go.
Stop in the middle of what I'm doing. Yeah.
And I'm terrible at this, right? Like, all of a sudden that thing, like, rather than, I know I could bust through 50 sneakers in an hour taking photos, like, I got a podcast in an hour, I got this.
Yeah.
And bam. And then now I roll into a podcast, I roll into my next appointment really feeling fulfilled. It's like,
instead
man,
of, like, frustrated, right?
Right, yeah. So
yeah.
So that's the mental game there.
For
I think
sure.
that's the mental game.
For sure. That is the mindset of madness, right?
Yeah,
there,
that's me and JC have been using it like power mode. Like,
yeah.
It's just kind of like your computer, your laptop. There's a low energy saving mode, and there's a power mode. Like, when you go power mode, like, you're eating something good after it. Like, that's what we usually do before dinner. Like, hey, dinner's at 6:30. At 5, we just power mode, and for some reason, you just get so much done in an hour, 30 minutes, and
you're like highly motivated, and it's like a short sprint. Like, when the end of it is, which can be helpful. Yeah. It's really interesting how, like, different things work for different people, and there's, like, because I agree with this. I think in the context of my day, I do this. I, like, set smaller goals, or be like, okay, in 1 hour, I'm going to try to do this whole pile or whatever. But in general, I hate having things broken down to an hour at a time. It never feels like it's enough time to do anything.
Yeah, right.
But within the context of a eBay workday where I'm focusing on my store, I can totally do that for certain tasks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
Like,
also,
the repricing and running a sale, you could, there's a lot of admin work for eBay store be done in an hour.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I love doing my admin stuff, like, early in the morning too, or not. I don't even wake up early in the morning, but early in my day, in the AM time, because that's when my brain can focus the most on a task like that. So that's a good call out also, just to know yourself and learn yourself and see, like, doing that kind of stuff at 4 p.m. does not work well for my brain. So I don't. I do it first. Yeah. But also, I love that you said you put your phone on airplane mode sometimes, because I think it's a really common experience for resellers, but just small business owners in general, to have this sense of being on call all the time.
Right.
Because we're wearing all the hats, we're doing all the things.
There's an offer, there's like a message.
Right, and
there's
that's all great, but it will be there in 40 minutes, and it's a distraction. So I think that's really empowering to remind everyone that, like, you are the boss, and you can say, do not disturb me for an hour, and that's acceptable.
Yeah.
So I love that reminder.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel bad about it.
No. And when it's really important, right? Like, I put my phone somewhere, and then I have a work phone. Hence why we have, a work phone specifically for that, and the personal phone just, hang in the back, and that's when I lose my phone. That is the only time I lose my phone.
Where did it go? Yeah. Okay, well, I have one more mindset kind of question for you, and that is relating to the original intent of the inventory check. So let's just say it's happening in April, most likely, unless you just smash everything so hard in March that you get to it early. Regardless, whenever you do that, and it becomes the priority again, will you break it down into a daily goal, or how much can I do in an hour? Will you push as hard as you can every day until it's just done for the month? Like, what's your approach to an inventory check?
So what we've done is by category. in by brand. So JC already did the shoes while we were in Berlin. So that was one of the things that was her extra job
Uh-huh.
that she took on to stay busy because I'm not there bugging her. Um, so that what she's done is she usually she does by brand and category. So for the all Nike footwear, she'll go through that. And it just depends on how you categorize your listing, right?
Uh-huh.
Or for example, for us, like we have SKU that's color and number, so we go blue, all the blue SKU, all the red SKU, all the white SKU. So that's kind of like how we do it. um but when it comes to like um clothing, that's where you can't really narrow it down because we have bins, right? The bins are like there's Nikes, there's multiple, so we can't sort it by brand because then we'd be jumping to different bins.
Right.
But this is the time where we just go through bin by bin, and this is the time where we just forget to eat, not eat. This is the time where you just plow through it because you could, from our experiences, you could break it down, but it's just there's just way more clothing. You know,
Yeah.
like in quantity, there's way more clothing, and then the value is way lesser.
Yeah,
So you
so you have these category and brand
Yeah.
based benchmarks, but it's still
Yeah.
kind of a marathon. You're
Yeah.
just like, we're doing this for 12 hours today.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah.
how far we get, like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So it is that we gotta get it done. The sooner we get this done, the faster we are allowed to do other things. You know, like we've kind of like, you know, positive reinforcement. One of the things that we've done during this like mundane task. Like if you guys know me, like I hate repetitive stuff. You know, I've tried to come up with so many shortcuts with this, but there's just no shortcut with physically counting the product. You
No,
know,
there's
there's no
No
robots
AI for
yet.
that.
There's no AI, there's no robots, there's no
Yeah.
spreadsheet. Yeah, you know, you reconcile everything physically. You know, and the only thing that could do it is barcodes, but you still have to scan individually anyway. So it's the same process. So we always come up with a positive reinforcement. Last time we did was we go out and eat at a revolving sushi spot that we
Love
go to.
that.
So you know, that's what we're gonna do for this clothing. You know, we go out to like Korean barbecue or something like that. You know, food always motivates us.
Okay, can I give you a psychology pop quiz really quick? Because you
No.
said positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
I love this. I loved teaching this concept for many years in Psych
Good.
101.
Right.
So positive reinforcement is like when you add a positive reward of sorts,
right.
right?
Achieve some. Yeah.
That is supposed to reinforce a positive behavior.
Positive behavior. Yeah.
What's the difference, do you know, between negative reinforcement and punishment? Because they're two different things.
Okay. So a negative reinforcement is, I think it's not accomplishing something good. So for example,
Yeah, give an
guess-
example.
for example, like if I don't finish my if we don't finish the inventory count, we don't get to eat sushi.
So that's actually a punishment.
Oh, that's a punishment.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you the difference because this
Okay.
is really fun. I think this unlocks a whole new layer of how people can reinforce their positive behavior, but with a negative stimulus. So what that means is basically like, for example, in your example, right? If you finish what you're supposed to be doing, the positive reinforcement would be like you're going to revolving sushi, which, yes,
Yeah.
so good. The negative reinforcement would be that you let yourself off the hook for scrubbing the kitchen floor. So you're removing something that you don't like
Okay. It's
in order to reward yourself for doing the right thing still.
So it's a deduction of something you don't like.
Yes, exactly.
If you do this.
But this could also be like really like if you put on the most annoying song in the world and you're like, I get to turn this off when I'm done.
After,
that's a negative reinforcement, right?
Yeah.
So get creative with your way that you motivate yourself.
I can't. I've always been a positive reinforcement guy, or
you just haven't found the right leverage. Like, what do you hate the most? And then they can have it.
And I think the goal is to remove everything that I hate the most, or alleviate it with something else, right? Like, for example, like I've hated washing the dishes all my life.
Oh yeah.
Hence, it made me a really good cook, because in our household growing up, it's either you cook or you clean.
That's right.
I'm a terrible cleaner, but I'm a great cook.
But I'm a great cook because so I don't have to clean.
Right. So
plus you get to eat the good food. That's positive and negative reinforcement.
So that is that is one thing. I totally remember it. Psych 101. Positive reinforcement was the thing that, it's like, oh, that's how I do my, like back then, my parents.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm a sneakerhead, because my parents bought me a pair of basketball shoe if I had straight A's.
There you go. They laid the groundwork early.
Yeah, so it was a double win. I was the coolest kid with the, freshest sneakers, and I was smart. So it didn't make me a nerd.
Right.
Because of my footwear, I had to play basketball, so.
Well, speaking for the nerds, being a nerd is cool now, so.
Oh, it's super cool. I'm a nerd.
It's so cool.
I'm a nerd inside.
Yeah. You're like, you can't tell from the outside that I'm such
you can't
a
be
nerd.
tell. Yeah.
That's so funny. Actually, you do look more nerdy when you wear your glasses, as most people do.
Yeah.
You can
I do that on purpose. That's activate nerd mode
for sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. You should do like a reel about that, about activating nerd mode.
Nerd mode. Oh, you'll see it. If you guys follow my Instagram, when I go sneaker con, when I go to sneaker events, I'm the coolest dude. But when I do all my eBay events in person everything like that,
when you go talk to policymakers,
they're like all of a sudden, right? Like they joke that all my suits are made for the Capitol Hill. Like that's real. Like
it's so true though. I used to do that when I taught psychology. I started teaching undergrad psychology when I was 22 maybe, so like the students I was teaching were almost my age,
right? So you had to like dress up.
Yes, I did, and I had my undercut and I had my tattoos and all that stuff. I mean, some of them back then, definitely gotten more over the years, but like I would be so professional, you could never see any like alternative thing about me. I always wore my glasses, I always wore like a blazer, because I just needed every scrap of like authority that I could cobble together. Because unfortunately, like those kind of impressions matter and determine how much your students are going to respect what you have to say. And so I really played into that when I was a really young professor, but it's kind of fun. It's like playing dress up a little bit, right? Different personas and different, different looks for different settings.
Hey, it's reinforcing. It's reinforcing your goal or your task.
Yeah, and your role, right? In that setting, it adds up, right? Yep. I think that is a fun note to end this episode on. But, Ken, next week we are going to be 2/3 of the way or 3/4 of the way through. Right. And so let's make a point to kind of be ready to talk about like what we actually have gotten done in March. Like make the most thorough list you can of like what it is that you did in your madness so far. And then we can reevaluate. So what's realistic to do in the last week? Right. That's what we'll be looking ahead at next episode.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good for everybody that's listening. This next week, sprint what you need to sprint on, and basically by the end of the week, start at the same time reflect on what March has been, and if it's up and up, keep at it. And if it's something that you think like, man, I wish I should have done more of it, you'll have 1 week left.
That's right. You can get a lot done in 1 week.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, halfway. And huge shout out to all of you that's listening. Make sure you follow us on our social. Anna finds everything for Anna, and the Hustle Bee for me. And also make sure you follow Glenn. The dude's grinding hard.
He
the
is.
Dad, 2-month-old baby now. Make sure you follow him at Hustler Hacks on Instagram, on YouTube, but he's mostly active on Whatnot right now. If you want some fresh hats, grab it from him. And again, also huge shout out to our sponsor, Seller Ledger. Get your books right. Tax season's coming up. Try him out. Follow him on Instagram as well at Seller Ledger. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Bye.
Yeah, we started with a plan, but the plan might bend. That's a life when you running your own business, my friend. Madness in the mix, but the moves stay clean. Small wins stacking up behind the scenes. Late night drafts, early morning grind. Systems getting sharper every time we refine. Wave might shift, but the hustle don't stall. Add adapt and adjust, that's a lesson for us all. Drop that beat, keep the rhythm alive. Sell a club energy every week of the ride. Plans may pivot, but the mission stays strong. Keep stacking those wins all month long. Maybe you sprint, maybe you slow the pace. Maybe new ideas jump in the first place. Inventory madness still running the show, but progress is the only thing we measure, you know. One more week, take the shot, go hard. Finish what you can, move the rest of the card. Brazilian mindset, building step by step, and we'll catch you right here on the next episode. Set. Shut up, club, keep the grind smooth.